Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch this short news video for the week of April 2nd, 2012, powered by the Building and Construction Trades Department and America's Building Trades Unions. Here's what's making news this week. Last Thursday, Congress approved a 90-day highway bill extension and sent it to President Obama for approval. As you might remember, last week we told you about a Senate-passed measure which would have provided funding long-term and was struck down earlier last week. This 3-month extension was passed 266 to 158 and did include 37 Democrats and all but 10 Republicans, and came just 2 days before the bill and the funding was set to expire. A bit of good news, and construction will continue even though it's guaranteed for a shorter time than many in the building trades would have hoped. If a picture's worth 1,000 words, this one certainly is. Taken last week on the site of a Canton, Massachusetts solar installation, the phrase of "you get what you pay for" has never been more true. What's particularly troubling is you're left with having to imagine just how bad the install is that you can't see. Compare it to this picture of a separate job done in the same jurisdiction by the IBEW. Which would you choose? See, under Massachusetts state law, the installation of solar panels and all associated mounting brackets and supports are to be performed by licensed electricians. As such, the IBEW in the area aggressively tried to get this work and made their point based on this fact, and also that it would ensure that local workers were hired with a track record of quality and safety. The IBEW made these points to the Board of Selectmen in January of this year before the out-of-town, non-union company was hired, and not only was it ignored, but the board said that it, quote, wasn't their responsibility to enforce the law. And furthermore, Selectman Chairman John Connolly went on record stating that the IBEW's motive was, quote, money and union jobs, not the result of any concern for the safety of any resident. This was all contained in a Canton Citizen newspaper report. The BCTD thinks it's safe to say that the board were the ones not concerned with safety or quality, and not money either, as the picture shows. And if given the chance again, there is zero chance they would make this same decision twice. This situation plays out all across the U.S. and Canada when it comes to the union and non-union issue. The building trades will continue in its efforts to tell their story, to educate local officials and residents that it does matter who builds and installs, no matter the size of the job or the city where it's being done. That's it for this edition, but before we sign off, did you hear that President Obama will be speaking at this year's legislative conference held at the end of the month? Make sure you attend. Get all the information you'll need by clicking on the Legislative Conference tab on top of the homepage of bctd.org. Thanks for the click. Remember, the building trades is always on through your smartphone, tablet, or your computer. I'll see you next week.